Welcome to Cannabis School. I'm your host, Jesse Angeles.
And I'm Brandon Elder.
And we're here to talk to you about everything pertaining to cannabis, from vape,
flower,
edibles,
strains,
and everything in between.
Hey, welcome back, kids. All right, today we are going to be getting into more information about cannabis. And one of the things we're talking about cannabis and being addicted
disorder.
Cannabis and addiction, or also
I think we did a cannabis and addiction episode.
Well, we did, but this one is more of like the addictive properties. We've done it about addiction and stuff like that, but cud is different from most of it, and it seems like your typical stoner stuff. So here's some fun stuff I'm gonna go into, and Brandon's gonna laugh his ass off with cud. The known side effects. This is the best. Like,
I know. It's basically the side effects of
being high,
using cannabis.
Yeah, the physical signs: bloodshot eyes, guilty, munchies. But munchies that are no longer haha fun. It's more like, oops, I ate an entire rotisserie chicken at 2 a.m.
I don't know the last time I've done that.
I haven't done that in a long time, so I know that I am, and I've learned to control my eating habits when I'm elevated. I know certain things. Tim Pickett told us about ice water. I always do that now.
Drinking ice water.
Ice water while I'm smoking. I don't get the munchies, or I have a healthy option, and it's always a cut up apple. Cut up apple. What apple? I prefer the Cosmic Crisps. I like the sweetness, tiny tart, but by the time I finish that apple, I'm okay. Now, when I'm not okay, I'm a type 2 diabetic, and the most easy and delicious thing to get is just carbs and sugar. And I tend to like justify when I've got the munchies. This is like an OCD thing for me now.
I know. It's such a fun little fidget.
I like how it spins forever. It's like one of those fidget spinners.
Yep. That's exactly right. I feel
got some good hits out of that.
Also, a tiny little bit of dab.
Oh, dude.
It's like great for both.
Yeah. But the bloodshot eyes, munchies, I get that. When some people say, like, how do you keep your weight down if you use cannabis all the time? Well, you use it responsibly, right?
I mean, I'm not a good example because I have a crazy crackhead genetic line. But like, well, there you go. The ball is finished. Oh,
I just turned it off. Oh, yeah, you can clean it up.
Gonna wipe him out while he's hot.
So, but when you start like sloth mode, reflexes, mental signs. So here's where you've gone a little far. And I was talking to Brandon about this just a little while ago. There's a point where you start using cannabis and it no longer chills you out. It just makes you anxious. But you keep using it
to help with your anxiousness.
Yeah. And it just gets worse. Now, I had something similar with some disties on that. Our blacks.
Okay.
Pineapple Express and Sour Diesel. I have to respect them on the concentrate because I'm used to disties, just boop, 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 boop. If I take more than 5 hits in one half-hour session, I get racing heart, anxiety, I'm edgy. So then what do? I switch to the other side, which is more of a hybrid, or I have an indica one. So I puff on that a little bit. Well, now it makes me tired. So I get this weird back and forth. And when you start getting into that, you kind of realize, like, what am I doing here? So now, like, I've got my Pineapple Express, I don't even know where my Pineapple Express is, but my Sour Diesel. And when I hit that, I know what I'm getting. And I know where I need to use it. So now I use that strictly as a medicine. I don't use those like I'm just trying to get high.
You know what I found? I've really enjoyed kind of leaning a little bit more away from my pens.
Yeah, me too. I don't carry them with me anymore.
Yeah, unless I'm leaving the house, unfortunately. Then I still do. But when I've been at home, just the wide variety of concentrates and that, like, I've got five different strains just in concentrate right now. So having that variety, not even flower or what's in a cartridge, like, it gives me the ability to, like, vary my experience so much, depending on the time of day or what's going on, that it really allows you to kind of, I don't know, I don't have to have that habitual puffing as much. Even like the purple platinum garlic that we just did, we shared that little dab, and that'll last way longer than a hit from a pen or anything else.
Typically, and that's another thing, like talking about with cud, is you start being able to feel like you're not getting as much out of your cannabis as you used to. And that typically starts to follow with how you're using cannabis and how you're changing up your use in different types and methods of using cannabis, such as edibles, smoke, vaporizer, or dab. And pens are in their own little realm.
Well, and it's when, like, cud is when it starts taking your time. It replaces your hobbies, your hanging out with people, friends, family members, relationships, other things like that, because you're just wanting to smoke weed. It replaces everything you do. Versus you can use it to enhance what you do and still live your life, have hobbies, do things, there are definitely that side of cannabis consumers.
Yeah, it's an enhancer.
And cud, or cannabis use deficiency or disorder, there's a lot of different studies and things that are around it, and it's supposed to be about 1 in 10 regular consumers might develop CUD. So it's about 90% of us cannabis consumers will never experience CUD.
Yeah. But then the converse is that if you've been using heavily before the age of 18, where your prefrontal cortex hasn't really developed yet, it's at 25 that they, give or take.
Which makes sense, because it was talking about how it helps with like impulse control and stuff. So where it becomes
if you've dulled those senses,
habit,
and
it becomes so habitual, well, your impulse control of like, hey, do I actually need this? And that's why we always talk about it's okay to reevaluate your relationship with cannabis. Where am I with cannabis? What is my dose looking like? What is my daily consumption looking like?
How am I acting around other people when I use it?
What is my purpose?
Yeah, I find that sometimes when I'm using it too much, I become more agitated with people. And it's super funny. It's almost contradictory. I'm like, why can't these people just chill the fuck out? You're like, can't you see how fucking calm I am? Yeah, I'm so calm. I'm better than I was yesterday. I've said that to my wife, dude. I've said that to her. I'm like, oh shit. And I instantly regretted it, man. I instantly regretted it. Because it starts to take a hold of you. And so, but the good thing is when you have a healthy relationship with cannabis, you can say, okay, I'm going to stop. Because when we were talking about that, where if kids are using it before the age of 18 pretty consistently. Now, it's not saying that this was done by a study in Australia where they took several thousands of people.
I think it was 2,000-ish people.
And they took them and they studied them from the ages of 8. They followed them from 18 to 30, and they noticed trends within their lifestyles, the ones who habitually used it. And that's daily consumption, heavy daily consumption. Now, I'm not saying like if your kid smokes pot, he's fucked. No, my kid has. And, I actually got frustrated when I found out that he did that, because I'm like, who gave it to you? What type of strain was it? And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, see, I'm not cool with that at all. I am not cool with that. I'm like, you talk to me about whatever you're doing, because I'm not going to let you go out there. And I was like, I don't know why you are doing that. He's like, well, I don't want to tell you because you get mad. I'm like, no, I would rather you tell me about this, what you're doing, so I can at least help you go in the right direction, because you develop he's already seen it. He has a close friend of his that has developed cud already, where they cannot function. When they wake, they're hitting their pendulum. They're walking to school, pendulum. When they get done with school, pendulum. Anytime they could get to the bathroom at the school, they're hitting it. And then all night, all day, all night, all day. And they go, and the excuse is, my life's hard, my family sucks.
But it's like we've talked about too. Cannabis is a tool, and it doesn't solve our problems. It just gives us the ability and the time sometimes to step away if we use it correctly and look at those problems and actually address them. But in those instances, or cannabis use disorder, most of those aren't addressing the issue. They're just hiding from it, numbing it, not actually sitting with that.
You're exactly right. And it's numbing it.
And so it's looking at that relationship and going, hey, what is my relationship with cannabis? Why am I using it? Am I running from something? Am I using it to numb my life and escape my life?
Well, I want to talk about my feelings.
Enhance my life. Yeah. And progress where I'm at, and maybe become a better version of where I'm at, because I've become analytical, or
Correct.
maybe like, God, my mind's blinking right now, but
Cannabis.
introspective, where you can become introspective and go, hey, here's my flaws, and maybe I wasn't able to see them before. Maybe I just didn't want to see them because I was afraid of seeing them, or whatever it was. But now you can see them, and that gives you the ability to go, hey, all right, well, maybe this tool, I don't have to run from this because I learned this, and yeah, that was kind of hard, and man, maybe I'm shittier than I thought in certain aspects, but I'm still actually a really good person in all these other things. Like, that's, I think, what we do forget is it's okay to have shitty moments and to realize the shortcomings that we have, because at the end of the day, we are all human.
Yeah, but the other part too is to be able to look at it like going, hey, it's okay. When you were talking about really introspective, really self-aware individuals can do that, saying, where am I at with it? But sometimes they can't. And I thought I could. I have way more control over it now, and being aware of when I'm abusing cannabis, because I still abuse cannabis. I'm addicted to cannabis. I know that. It's not difficult for me to go throughout. I could go weeks without it and I will be okay, but
You've
I'm
taken
still
more tolerance breaks than I have.
Oh yeah. But not always by my own. It's my body. I think it was at that time the reason why I was having anxiety breaks, where I would have like just constant. I started to think about it then, and I'm like, I started to do kind of a recall, because my memory is so tight, and being able to pull this back, I noticed a trend where I was using concentrates like crazy. Dude, I was like, a pen used to last me, a 1 gram pen would last me a month.
Yeah.
But that time, dude, I was going through a pen a week.
Yeah, but see, even that, I feel
It was
like
during the pandemic too.
a 1 gram pen in a week is really not that bad when you break it down between 7 days. You're like 1.3 or 0.13 grams a day, which if you're during the pandemic, like...
Oh, no, but for me at the time, that's a lot.
Your consumption went way up.
Way up.
Oh,
and
for
that's
sure.
when I would have these anxiety breaks. I was taking super strong sativas and concentrate. These are not plant-derived. They're plant-derived terps, if that. If not, it's just straight THC. It's hot dog water. And
I never got pure extraction. Like,
no, we never did. But I'm just saying, like,
ones.
it felt like that to the point where all I was getting was I didn't enjoy the experience anymore. I was doing it out of habit. I wake up, I hit.
Yeah.
Have breakfast, hit. Drink coffee, hit. Where's my wife? She's upstairs. Hit. And I'm just like, what the fuck, dude? And the only reason why, it's not that I'm a bad person by any means. It's just I wasn't as self-aware. Now, what's really helped me, and it's not a plug for it, it still helps me to this day, is understanding my behaviors. And I go, where's my red light, yellow light, green lights? Are these good behaviors? Good. That means I'm doing productive things for me. Not necessarily productive things for society. And then the yellow lights are like, you're getting a little grumpy, you're getting a little obsessive, you're hitting your pen too much. And I see those and I take stock of that. But I've had to teach myself that over time, where I do a daily stock. I'm like,
of where you're at.
yeah, how much did I use today? Not because I'm trying to be guilty, but because I want to stretch my weed. I mean, I love the feeling of weed. When I was telling you, and I'm feeling it. I'm totally feeling it. I was telling Brandon that we've both been like super stressed. I just got a job. Brandon's unfortunate adventure, but it was a good opportunity to be able to go, I could do something else and make my money in this and be less stressed. Yeah, you know what? I could do that. But it's all this buildup of life. And that's a time when I should just go for a walk instead of hitting my pen or going for a walk. Leave my pen at home and just go for a walk. Listen to an audiobook, music, or fuck it, just nature and the sounds around you. And I found that is a great regulator when I feel like I need to hit the pen, but I know I've been hitting it. And that's me. Nobody else needs to keep stock of it. And don't feel guilty for it. Just check yourself.
I noticed that too, even over the last couple of weeks. There was times that I was sitting there, and I would be sitting there and I just puffed and I'd go to reach for my pen and I'm like, why? Why am I reaching for my pen right now? I feel like it's strictly habit. I don't feel like I need more at this moment.
No.
I don't feel like if I took another puff it would alleviate more pain.
Make a difference in your life.
Yeah, it wouldn't change my focus. It wouldn't. I'm already at a good enough state. What does this picking up of my pen actually do for me in this moment? And I was like, actually nothing. And I put it back down and I kept working. And I was like, it's become so habitual because it's so there, so whatever.
It's easy though,
and it is. But that's why I've really appreciated concentrates and the dab rig, because I can do a hit, and instead of feeling that habitual need or, hey, I've got my pen with me, I'm not even thinking about it. I'm truly on my day doing whatever because I'm not. It's just something different about it. I don't know what it is. Like you said, there's the plateau we still hit with pens. I don't get that with dabs where I can just go way past it. But I'm not looking to get crazy high. Usually I'm looking to get
I just want to know it's on.
Pain, relief, and that's about it. Like, and maybe get rid of some of the anxiety of whatever that day is brought, and that's really it. If I can get that.
Well, and that's the thing too. Like I have actually heard that like one person they're slightly ignorant to it, but they just said, well, they got medications for that, for anxiety. And I totally get that. Like I tried to come off of mine, and it was horrible. It was, dude, I was so emotional for a week. Everything made me cry.
Well, it's interesting. So for cannabis use disorder and people coming off of that, like some people can feel more anxious or irritable, they'll have trouble eating, like they won't have an appetite or sleeping.
Well, it's because cannabis is doing the same thing as any other type of mind-altering substance, is that it's creating a dopamine effect as well. So you like the dopamine. And I think that's where I started to feel like and that's a caution on candy gas. It's such a dopamine hitter at first that I got burned out of dopamine. I was feeling like I needed to keep smoking
Interesting.
it. Which is so weird because I was really worried that my tolerance was insanely high like yours. And that's not a bad thing.
I'm Brandon.
Yeah, no. I mean, because you have a high tolerance for a lot of pain.
It is a bad thing.
It is. But
I would love to have such a lower tolerance. Yes.
And I was thinking, man, I didn't used to not to smoke as much flower. I didn't used to smoke as much. And when I'm saying a lot of flower, I'm like, for me, a warning was when I went through an eighth in 2 days. And I'm like, something's wrong. I'm smoking way too much, because it wasn't, I would hit my bong when in a decent time once, twice a day. I mean, I had my Benjamin, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And then I had to clean it midday. I had to clean my bong midday. And I cleaned it. And then after it, I set it all up, dropped my ice cube in there for my ice catcher. And I don't even know why I put the ice in there. I was like, well, I guess it's bowl 30. I just smoked another one after I just fucking smoked. And it was just like, yeah, you're abusing it because there's something, either you're running away, you want to numb yourself, and that's a great time to just stop and just go for a walk and just going, and not beat yourself up about it. Just saying, what's going on right now in my life?
Yeah. Well, I look at that too, and I'd go, usually if I'm doing that, it's what am I doing or what am I not doing? Because usually those are the two things that dictate why I'm smoking. Either I'm trying to escape doing something I probably should have been doing, or I'm doing something that I just don't feel incredibly happy with the fact that this is what I'm doing in that moment.
Right.
So maybe it's a little combination of both.
Oh, totally. But, I kind of liked it after we were doing this research and being able to find like a really good topic for today. Cud is a really great way to kind of to materialize, like tangibly present to your mind that cud is a real thing. And all it should be, it's not a diagnosis. It's not saying you're a bad person. What it's saying is that, hey, check yourself, motherfucker.
It's a true evaluation of your relationship with cannabis.
Truly, because it shouldn't be your life. We have a good friend of ours. He has openly said he cannot function day to day without it. From wake till bed, he's on a sativa.
I mean, for pain and
I get that.
It is so hard to manage an entire day not on it. I had an 8-hour stint within my day the other day without cannabis at all. And for me, as a chronic pain and medicinal user, that was a really tough day. And after those 8 hours, I puffed again. I was like, oh my gosh, I came home and I used flour. I'm like, I just really could go for some flour. And I sat down and I ground it up, put it in my vaporizer, had a few bowls, and I was like, my whole body just instantly relaxed. And I was like, oh, this is what I needed.
It was like that San Fernando Valley OG. That one is
the weighted blanket.
That'd be nice to just. I don't care. But if you're really beat up, I mean, that's the thing. It's knowing your cannabis. And I know people over there like, stranger bullshit. Totally get it. But you know what? They're great identifiers for you to be able to look at terpene profiles. Because now I don't necessarily look at the strain name. Immediately I want to go to the terpene profiles. And because I've learned so much about that, both of us have, it's so great now because I go past the name, I go past the indica sativa, I go right to the terpenes, and I go, okay, this is more like a pain relief. This is probably an indica. Oh, it's an indica. Yeah, it's probably for this. And then I'll look it up and I go, yeah, it's there. And not to be like, look how fucking smart I am. Like, check out the big brain on Jess. But it makes it, I mean, how many people are that aware of the pharmaceuticals that they put in their body?
I mean, I laugh. So I've gotten kind of cheap because I didn't feel like it was needed for me to not pay for the ad-free version of Netflix, which has been very interesting because I haven't really watched ads since I was a kid. And now that there's ads, I'm like, holy shit, there's so many like medicine commercials. And it's like, oh, hey, side effects might be like anal prolapse, death, heart failure, like constant, all these terrible
Shrinking
things.
testicles,
and it's like, if you're allergic to this,
penis.
yeah. And I'm like, inverted penis, overblown penis, exploded penis. And you're like, why are there like 10 different penis side effects
and then
here?
Like random, like weird one over there, your third toe from to the right on your right foot.
And they're like, do not
could
mix
fall
with these other medications because...
Like water or sunlight.
Yeah, or happiness.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, fuck.
I'm dead.
And then I'm looking over here and I'm like, well, this strain might cause me to be a little bit anxious, like tightness in my shoulders. My eyes might be a little dry.
Won't kill me.
Or this one might make me a little sleepy.
I don't think there's a strain that actually makes your ass leak, right? Like that's what they used to do. Like you ever read the sugar-free gummy bear reviews? They don't have it anymore on Amazon.
For Haribo sugar-free bears,
dude,
it's like the best laxative.
I found another. Oh, it's like a really high-end gummy, sugar gummy that they have on the shelf. They have like all the gummy bears in a circle. It's a white bag. I can't remember the name.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
They sell them at Costco.
Yes.
And why can't I think of that name brand? I know exactly what you're
So
talking
that
about.
one, they had a sugar-free one.
You guys know. Drop in the comments.
Dude, I know I'll remember. It'll be way after. But I grabbed that sugar-free packet of gummy bears, and I'm like, oh, I want some sweets. I get that. I ate 2.
And you shit your pants?
I'm like, oh.
How are these starting?
Throw them away. I'm
That's
just going to shit my
terrible.
guts out. I don't want to do this. But the thing that's so great, you know, especially when you're looking at, like, what should I be doing with my cannabis consumption? First of all, it's not just stop what you're doing. It's evaluate what you're doing. Yeah. And then after that one, start looking at the terpene profiles of every single strain that you're going. Even if you don't have the information, all of us can have access to Google. Google has AI built into its search algorithm, so you can just talk to it directly. So just saying, hey, is this a strain that would make me really dead? I want to know the terpene profiles. And you will get a full blown out of all the information they can grab saying, here's the terpene profiles. Start looking for those. If you're more prone to being anxious, maybe stay away from those sativa strains. You know, but it's not always sativa strains. It could be a certain specific caryophyllene. If caryophyllene is high for me in an indica, it will make me extremely anxious. And it's just because I'll feel it in my chest. And when I feel that pressure in my heart, because it changes the blood pressure, then that induces this feeling of anxiety when it's not anxiety. So just that would be my little tip, is just pay attention to your terpene profiles.
Yeah. And
how much you're consuming and how often you are. Don't take a journal. I don't know. I mean, Brandon would. I wouldn't.
I don't know. If you're into journaling it, do it. Write it down. But if you feel like you have CUD or know someone who has, there are some methods you can use or try and approach to help with that. Aside from just reevaluating your relationship, there's cognitive behavioral therapy. So it can help you just kind of practice and change your unhealthy thoughts tied to consuming. There's another one. It was contingency management, which is kind of like rewards for like from abstaining from that, you know, for not consuming and going, hey, here's a gift card, here's this for hitting that, and going, hey, I hit that benchmark, I didn't actually consume, and giving yourself that kind of pat on the back for that. And last one was like a motivational enhancement therapy, which kind of builds your reasoning on why you want to change. So no shame, just kind of motivating you to make that impact and change in your consumption and your life. And
yeah, on that one, that's it, when I read through that one and I went through all of it, like what is incorporated with it, it was basically like 12 shapes. It's understand your behaviors with cannabis, understand your behaviors with your life.
What causes you to get in that state or go, hey, I need to do this. And
go take that quiz and just look at it. Pick me as your coach so you guys don't get put into the marketing campaign. But I specifically had that, and they're like, hey, we want to put you on our website. I'm like, cool, I can't be in your email campaign. I don't want to overwhelm people with just mindless dribble. But it's a great, and it's free. Take that test and then look at it and then just kind of start. I would do is take your information and then put it into ChatGPT going, I consume cannabis like this. How is this associated with my behaviors? And it can give you a really accurate way to be able to understand yourself a little bit more. And if you want more information, go to 12shapes.com. They can help you over there. But it really is what you said there. Because like we had these conversations weekly. We'll talk about our cannabis consumption. And so that was to be the last thing is get a buddy that you can be open with. Not the buddy that's like, smoke this.
Yeah. And this, and this, and this, and this. And then eat this.
Yeah, eat this, and then, oh man, you want a brownie? There was 500 milligrams in that one brownie.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, dude.
To the moon.
Yeah, but it's not cool. You're not helping somebody, you're hurting them. So be that good friend. Hey, let's do that. I don't know, sit around, listen to this podcast, share it with your friend, especially over there. And you know what? Share it with I mean, if you want to share it with people around you that really have this very narrow mind about cannabis consumption, they're going to see that there's a lot more to this world, and more often than not, they're probably more curious than you are.
Yeah. And there's no shame. Like,
none.
If you guys need help, if you need assistance or that, like, there's no shame. No one's perfect. You wouldn't ignore it if you broke your leg, you broke your arm. Like, get the help you need.
Yeah, and if you don't have anybody around you, reach out to us. We'll send you information. We'll help you out, give you some ideas, tips. Pay attention. We're going to be, like I said, our episodes have totally changed. And so we are really focused on making sure we give you the best, and stay tuned for next week.
Yeah, catch you then.